Good evening, I'm Dave Boggess, president of the Pump House Players. I'm here this evening at the theater with Kip Henderson to talk about our next production, It's All in the Timing. Opens this weekend on Friday, the 23rd, and runs for 2 weekends. Kip is the director of the show and also, sort of an unusual situation, also the writer of the production, and he stars in the production. Right. So I guess we can call Kip our Renaissance man for this particular production. I think it's one of the first times that we've ever had a situation where we had the writer of the show, also directing the show, and then starring in the show. Tell me a little bit about where you got the idea for the script, how long it took you to work the script up, a little bit of the idea of how that process comes about.
Sure. The initial point that I can kind of justify it started, I was sitting up at I think it's now Applebee's. Mm-hmm. Well, no, actually, it's Longhorns now. At the time, it was Winston's. That's what it was. And
so it's been a while back.
It's been a while, yes. About 15 years.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
And I was sitting with a friend. We were talking, and we were doing the old lip fighting because he writes with me. It's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I said, "You're so dumb that someone must have exchanged your brains for a box of Cheez-Its." I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I thought it was funny, but I said, that's going in a show somewhere.
Yeah.
So it was a while after that. I was just kind of toying with the idea. Well, I went to Branson, Missouri, which is, of course, hell for any performer, just before they drop off into New Jersey. And I was at a family reunion of all things. Why we chose to do it in Branson is beyond me. And so I went to the pub after playing golf, wanted to get away from everybody, and I took my little spiral notebook and I just started sketching out. It's just a weird stage, and having fun, putting mannequins in there and all this other stuff. So I started playing with the characters, and suddenly I had 10 or 15 pages.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I don't consider something cooking until you got at least 10 pages.
There you go.
So on the way home, fortunately I didn't drive much, I worked on it all the way back from Branson. And by the time I got home, I had pretty much the first act done.
Fantastic. I guess just give us a quick sort of sketch of the premise of the show.
Sure.
What the idea of the show is, and I guess it's the idea is it is a comedy.
Oh yes.
A broad comedy, is from what I understand.
Well, it has broads in it.
Yes. There you go.
Basically, the show covers a year in the life of our characters. Mm-hmm. It deals with relationships and how sometimes you find yourself in the strangest position of being attracted to someone that you never thought you'd be involved with. And it seems that everybody else seemed to know this before you did and got involved. It deals with some characters. Of course, you have Laura, which is basically the main character, and Pete, which is the male. I can call him the antagonist because he's an antagonistic sort of person.
Okay.
And Pete and Laura have known each other since they were small children, and he's best friends with Laura's brother Steve. And Pete, being the practical joker that he is, has always picked on Laura her whole life. And when Steve gets around him, doesn't matter what age they are, they turn into 8-year-olds again.
Okay.
And it's a real fun situation with all the different plots and subplots we have going on in that one. Right. A lot of comedy, a lot of fun stuff. And then we mention a psychotic girlfriend. We mention that, which is Steve's girlfriend. Her name is Heather. And we don't see anything of Heather in the first act. But then in the second act, a year later, the scene shifts. I mean, we all know that usually the honeymoon's over 3 to 6 months afterwards. And we deal with that honeymoon being over for Steve or Pete and Laura, and we're shifting over to another set of relationships. And the fun part of, you never should say anything about anybody's girlfriend or boyfriend while they're in a breakup situation, because you never know what's going to happen later, then you're caught.
There you go.
In this situation, Pete is not afraid to say anything, and it turns into a lot of fun.
Let's talk about some of the folks in the show. Erin Brown, of course, has been seen on the stage many times here at the Legion. Very well-known actress to a lot of our patrons. We also have, of course, yourself playing, I believe you're playing Pete, correct? Yes, and Laura is played by
Emily McFadden.
Emily McFadden, which I believe we've seen her a couple of times the last few
We've seen quite
shows.
a bit of Emily,
We've seen,
yes, especially
quite a bit of
backstage.
Emily. Luckily, She has shown herself several times backstage. Well,
Sometimes.
Anyway, we've got a couple of new faces.
Yes, we do.
I believe a fellow by the name of Dennis Wolk.
Dennis Wolk, yes.
Is adding to the cast, and he is playing.
He's playing my father.
Your
Playing
father. Well, that's interesting.
And the fun part is backstage and
Yeah.
goofing off, and Dennis has been a great help building the set and,
Yeah.
and working on the special effects side of things. Then we do have a newcomer, Marcus Curlew.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He is a graduate of Morehouse.
Yeah.
And he's taking on the role of Steve. And of course, Marcus is black. And that brings a whole new meaning because I never wrote it to be anything interracial. But it's funny because Marcus came in and some of these lines took on a whole new life. And he's been a great sport. He's really worked hard. He's doing a great job.
All right.
We have, let's see, what's her name? Aaliyah Hutchison. Yes, Aaliyah's been with us for a few shows. She's taking on Jana, and she is quite mischievous.
Now, Jana is Laura's best friend.
Who's a little younger and a little more lower
Yeah.
keyed, and she really has brought the character to life. Really nice.
I believe we've got Lori Lambert, which I believe several of you have seen in shows. She is acting as your assistant director, and
Yes.
I guess when you're directing and also being in the show, that just puts a little more, I guess, authority on the assistant director to sort of take up the slack when you're on stage and trying to make sure everything comes together.
Definitely.
Let's just talk a little bit about times, dates, tickets, and things like that.
Yes.
We do open Friday the 23rd and Saturday the 24th. Both of those shows will be at 8 o'clock, and then a week later on Friday the 30th and the 31st. At 8 o'clock again. You can purchase tickets by going to our website, www.pumphouseplayers.com. Tickets are $12 regular or $10 if you're a Pump House member. Or if you want to buy more than 10 tickets for a single show, you can get another break there for $10.
Absolutely.
Very inexpensive entertainment.
And doors open at 7:30 for you to take a seat. It's general seating. There is no assigned seating. But if you get here early, the bar will be open.
The bar will be open.
We will have social time prior to coming in here.
And then after the show, you can stay and meet and chat with the actors and actresses.
Absolutely.
Find out how they did all this crazy stuff on stage and have a good time with us. So come out and see the show. We know you're going to have a great time. Kip, thanks for visiting with us.
Thank
and
you
we
so
will
much, Dave.
look forward to seeing the show.
Look
Thank
forward
you.
to having you. Bye-bye.